Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're taking a look at Lattafa Pride's Areeq Silver. Alright, Areeq Silver is from the House of Lattafa. It is from their Pride line series. It's an eau de parfum concentration, and you can pick this bad boy up for $30 at places like Perfumes Online. I'll have a link down in the description if you decide you want to check this one out. Also have a coupon code to save yourself $5 off your first purchase at Perfumes Online if you decide you want to shop with them. Box presentation on this, pretty straightforward, just your typical cardboard box. It does have this nice kind of silver, semi-embossed mokar, like an incense holder, I believe that is, up front. Name of the fragrance right there, all the necessaries on the back. But overall, a pretty straightforward cardboard box. Bottle presentation is quite nice. Your typical Lattafa Pride kind of casing to it. Nice thick kind of acrylic plastic case to this, so thankfully it's not glass because I would have broke it by now for sure. Sits in this nice little podium and name of the fragrance across the bottom there. And the bottle is a nice green, thick, heavy kind of matte style of bottle. Again with that mokar, am I saying that right? Comment down below. Did I butcher that or am I getting it right? Sitting up top, it is kind of like an embedded style of metal piece right there. So nice little change of pace. I do like that. And I do like that it's green because it's kind of changed it up from the Lattafa Silver, a black style. Cap on this, nice thick heavy metal. It has the Lattafa logo sitting up top, and it is kind of an oval shape, which is a little bit different from some of the other bottles. And the atomizer on this, quite nice. Decent distribution, good puffs on this. Nothing to really write home about, but overall presentation, well done Lattafa. So if you were wondering what Lattafa Pride's Areeq smells like, you have come to the right place, because I'm about to tell you. But first, a fun fact. Through my super detective skills and my linguistic sources, I have figured out that Areeq translates into English as something along the lines of noble or highborn, deep-rooted, something to that degree. So this is kind of like a majestic, important style of fragrance apparently, or at least that's what the name suggests, noble, highborn, something of that matter. So there you go. There's a fun fact from your boy Post Cologne. Linguistic translations, cultural references, fragrance reviews, tight t-shirts. You gotta hit that subscribe button. So some of the notes listed in Areeq Silver are apple, lavender, cardamom, tobacco, cypress, jasmine, oud, leather, sandalwood, musk, and vanilla. So there's a lot going on with this fragrance, lots of notes there. So let me tell you what I get from this fragrance. In the opening, it's got this really interesting and really awesome mix of that apple, that cardamom, and that leather note. Like a spiced apple. I get kind of like a green apple, like kind of a Granny Smith style apple. So it's got that sweetness to it, a little bit of tart, and it's just like smacked with this cardamom that has that kind of nice fresh spiciness to it. And it's sitting on top of a very prominent leather note that comes through. Now in the opening, this opens very aggressive. This is a very kind of harsh opening to it, but it takes a minute or two before it kind of settles down a little bit, and then you can really start to enjoy that apple spice leather style accord that comes through. Very, very interesting. It is a different style of leather than most everything in my collection, and I really do enjoy that kind of, that different sort of vibe, that sweetness, that spiciness mixing with that leather. Really, really enjoyable. As this kind of develops, it gets this cypress note that comes through with that tobacco, so it adds this kind of greenness to it, this kind of snappy cypress which has the spice to it, and it just gives it this kind of this edge, this kind of different style of leather than you're used to. So if you're thinking of other leather style fragrances, especially within like the Lattafa line, Velvet Oud or Maison Alhambra's Amber and Leather, it's not that style of leather. It's not that kind of classy black leather, new wallet, new leather bag style of leather. This is more kind of an old worn leather jacket, almost like a saddle style of leather. It's got that kind of ruggedness to it, that kind of bold masculine vibe. And mixing with that cypress, that tobacco, and those sweet and spicy notes just adds a lot of really interesting character to this. As this dries down, you get a little bit more of the wood start to come through, and there is this faint oud that comes through. So the oud in this is not very forward. If you're kind of wary of oud fragrances, this shouldn't scare you off because it does sit in the background, and it just kind of adds its own little touch or like signature to say, hey, this is a Middle Eastern fragrance. Hey, this is a Lattafa fragrance. But it's not an oud dominant fragrance. Just kind of hides in the background and just kind of peeks its head out just a little bit just to kind of say hello. But the leather is really what's standing out with those kind of earthy, spicy notes with that sweet apple, that spicy cardamom. Really, really nice. As you get to the dry down though, you get a lot more kind of that woodsy feel starts to come through, and a little bit of a different scent accord for some vanilla that starts to kind of come up. So it adds a little bit of smoothness to it, adds a different kind of sweetness to it. That apple settles down a little bit, but it is still there with that spice, that cardamom. And overall, it's just an absolutely beautiful style of leather dry down. Very green, very kind of dusty leather, but it has those kind of sweet accords to kind of round out the edges. Absolutely beautiful. The best way I can kind of put this is like sitting in the woods with an old leather jacket, rolling yourself a cigarette, and there's like a spiced apple turnover that's baking in the background. Just kind of the wafts of that kind of sweet accord, that kind of dessert accord, mixing with the sharpness, the spiciness of the woods, with that nice, dusty, masculine, bold leather jacket, rolling your cigarette. That's probably the best way to put this. Love the scent accord on this. Really complex, very unique, and I absolutely love it. So when it comes to the performance of Lattafa Pride's Areeq Silver, I get great performance off this. Off my skin, I get 8 to 10 hours, no problem. If I get some on my clothing, it's one of these fragrances where I'm gonna have to wash that t-shirt before that smell comes out. Great longevity off of this. Projection, like I said, this is a very aggressive opening on this one. So like the first half hour, 45 minutes, this just blasts off before it does settle into about an arm's length for the next hour and a half or 2 hours. So projection is really big in the beginning, but it does settle down after that half hour mark to be a really nice projecting fragrance at that point. So I would say this is like probably beast mode or a very borderline beast mode. And because it has that aggressive opening, I would suggest taking it easy on the sprays at the beginning. Very sharp, very spicy, very leathery. You're gonna blast people out. You might even blast yourself out. Even if you're a lunatic and you spray like 12, 16 sprays of any fragrance, you're gonna annoy people if you do that. So just a little heads up, little warning from your boy Post here. Just don't be a jerk. Really great performance on this, quite happy. Awesome job, Lattafa. Now when it comes to the where and when, I think Lattafa Pride's Areeq Silver would be most appropriate. I think this is a definite fall winter banger. This is definitely a cool weather style of fragrance. This has that fall vibe and it has that kind of strength, that rustic leather sort of feel to kind of warm me up in the winter and really push through that cold weather. That's where I think this would do best. I think you could get away with this in the spring as long as it's kind of a mild day and it's not too warm. In the summertime, this would be too much. This would be like wearing a thick leather jacket in the middle of summer. It'd be too much. It'd be too much. You do you, but I would not recommend wearing this in the summer. Fall, winter, this is definitely where this is going to shine. In terms of occasions, I think this is a nice casual fragrance. I think you can wear this out running errands, going to lunch. Again, don't overspray because you're gonna blast out your lunch partners or whoever you're in the grocery store with. Be careful on the sprays, but casually, I think you could definitely wear this. I think date nights as well, it's got that kind of rugged, bold masculinity to it. So if that's the vibe you're going for with your lady or your gentleman you're going on a date with, definitely think this would work on a date night. Formally, I think this is too kind of rugged, cowboy masculine kind of sort of vibes going on to it to really kind of pull it off in a sophisticated formal style of environment. I think it might be a little best suited for kind of the more casual wear. Definitely don't think this is a great office fragrance. Like I said, it's very strong. Don't wear this to the gym. If I smell you at the gym wearing this, you're gonna blow everybody out. Everyone doing squats and deadlifts is gonna be pissed off with you. So don't wear this to the gym. Don't think it's good for the office. Casually, date night, this is where it does best. So my overall thoughts on Lattafa Pride's Areeq Silver. This is a really nice, unique, complex style of leather fragrance, and it's a nice change of pace from some of the other leather fragrances I have from Middle Eastern houses and even designer houses. They all kind of have that similar kind of more classy style of leather that has some fruit notes up top and it smells like a brand new black leather wallet, which is very nice and very suitable for certain occasions. But this one's just got that kind of extra green kind of snap to it, that little bit of bite from those spices, but it also has those kind of sweet chords, that kind of apple turnover, smooth vanilla that kind of works its way in there and just kind of rounds off those rugged edges. Really bold, really masculine, and very unique. And I'm really, really enjoying this one. Performance on this, like I said, I get great performance off this, so there's not much to complain about in that department. And like I said, casual wear fragrance, fall winter banger. Really enjoying this one. If you're into leather fragrances and more that kind of rugged leather kind of sort of vibe going on to it, I think you might really enjoy this one. Definitely worth checking out. That's Lattafa Pride's Areeq Silver. And I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your favorite like bold, masculine, Middle Eastern style fragrances? Comment down below. Love hearing from you guys. Love getting your different recommendations. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.